Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are watching us from. Thank you so much for clicking that link to watch this video. This is Rose Salwa YouTube channel, and here we are about
vulnerability,
acceptance, and hope. We are grateful that you chose to be part of us in this conversation. Anytime you see the two of us, you know we are talking about marriage, and we are doing ndoa with the Salwas. Ndoa is a Swahili word for marriage. So we believe in marriage. We believe and we know that marriage is God's idea. He's the one who instituted it. And we know that when marriages are healed, when marriages are okay, the family is fine, the children are okay, the society is okay. So thank you so much. So we meet here to share our opinion on this YouTube channel, and thank you so much for choosing to subscribe. So if it is your first time here, karibu sana. Find this a place for vulnerability, acceptance, and hope. We share very vulnerable content, and you are welcome to share your opinion. Please let us know what you think on the comment section below, or what you would want us to talk about. And today we are basically, our last video was about
conflict
in marriage. We discussed about conflict in marriage. Thank you so much for all of you that watched that video and commented and shared with other people that you thought would benefit from that video. So thank you. Now, many of you have gotten to us on the YouTube channel, on Instagram, on Facebook, and on TikTok, and asked us to talk about roles and responsibilities in marriage. So roles and responsibilities in marriage, and so we have come. We are here to talk about roles and responsibilities in marriage, and I will... Yes, sir.
Yes.
There's a way, somebody was telling me there's a way each couple communicates. So I think I have communicated. Bye.
So what is... let's remain focused. Focus.
This is not focus.
That is disruption. Well, maybe defining what roles are is a good point to begin.
A marital role.
A marital role. My understanding of that is that a marital role is basically the God-given function that is allotted or allocated to every party in a marital relationship. So it's basically an essential function that either a husband or a wife plays in their marital relationship.
So umesema allotted kwani it's
allotment.
It's buying of land.
Allotment. Yani is assigned.
It's your part.
Yes, it's what is assigned. It's just a short word for, other than saying assigned.
So you say assigned.
Say allotted.
You had to say allotted.
I'm telling you.
So that we know you've gone to school. So anyway.
Today I was very good in English.
What did you get? Form 4?
Form 4. I passed.
What did you get? All of us passed. You know, in tertiary education, when you talk about pass, it's something else.
No, me, I did well. I exited.
There's passing that you did well in school, and there's passing that you went through.
No, I exited expectation.
Let's stay focused on
roles and responsibility.
And our responsibility is a must do, because you see, in marriage, there's the wife and there's the husband. There's the male and there's the female. And so a function is what each must do for that marriage to keep going, or for the marriage to keep going. A responsibility is a must do. So this is my responsibility. Now, roles and responsibility would differ depending on how you look at it. And let me explain. Roles and responsibilities can be understood in 3 dimensions. The first one is the cultural understanding of roles and responsibility in marriage.
Traditional perspective.
The second one,
Uh-huh.
utaifanya ni sahau. The second one is the modern understanding of roles and responsibilities.
Contemporary perspective.
This is serious. The third one is the biblical understanding of roles and responsibilities.
Yes.
So what do you want to say about that one?
Scriptural perspective.
So anyway, we will look at roles and responsibilities on those three perspectives.
Yes.
And so we begin with the first one, which is the
Traditional perspective.
the cultural.
Yes, where we come from.
Yeah.
Community, how our communities traditionally have understood the role of a husband and a wife to be in marriage. And I'll begin by highlighting, for most African communities, the role of a wife in a marital relationship is basically seen as that of childbearing and nurturing. So the wife was responsible for bringing up children. Little wonder,
Giving birth and nurturing them.
ensuring that they grow and actually behave also well. It was the responsibility of the mothers to ensure that the child grows up, is fed.
Rashad, can you go and wait? Thank you.
And
So that is part of the roles and responsibilities
yes, the
of a
mother is
mother.
to take care of the children. So that apart from just bringing them up, part of the bringing them up is also to ensure that they are fed. So the cooking in the home was the responsibility. It's a role assigned to the women from a traditional perspective. We need to keep clarifying that. And then the other role is
that the place where this statement, the place of women used to be in the kitchen.
Yes. Anyone who says that is approaching it. They are not necessarily wrong. It is just that they are coming from a traditional perspective. In some communities, women were also charged with the responsibility of ensuring that the family had a house. So the building of home, of the house in the home, it was actually the responsibility of the woman. What about men?
I will go for
husband.
Husband, yes. Okay. I think for me, what I saw my grandfather do, let me use my grandfather, because I think that is the culture that I have seen, is the role of a man. My grandmother would stay at home, and my grandfather would go hunting. Have you ever eaten meat, not of goat or sheep, not a domestic one, but wild animals?
In fact, the last one I ate is not long ago. Did I tell you?
Did you told me?
So I went to the village and I found game meat. So
that one.
Yes, so I ate.
And then said you wait. Yeah.
Then I was told, hey, you've just eaten a monkey.
Let's not go there. So traditional.
Maybe that is why I'm this black.
Monkey.
I ate a monkey, not the baboon. Baboon is very, very poisonous. What is
the difference?
Baboon is these big monkeys. This
baboon.
The one with the
tail.
Of course, all monkeys
and
have a tail.
And the black thing where they sit on.
Actually, for most of them, it's red. You know, the ones that if you're passing through the forest, you find them walking on the road. Those ones are baboons. But they are in the monkey family, if we were to say. So the one you ate is which one? Is, well, there are many monkeys. All monkeys are eaten according to my people, except baboons. You eat monkeys? See, I'm telling you, I ate. Not that I eat, I ate. Anyway, let's stick to roles. Let's stick to roles and responsibilities. One of them was hunting. Just going and to look for game meat. At least now you've made me understand it's game meat. That's what I saw my grandfather do. So that was one. The second one is that owning land. I think traditionally husbands were the ones that owned land. And that land
owned everybody in the family, including the wife and children. His responsibility was owning. Another one was to protect the family from the hostile neighbors or things, just to ensure there was security. And I think that's why in most homes there's usually a panga. You know what a panga is? A panga is what in English?
Panga is a machete.
Machete. Machete is panga. Is English. Okay. Or a spear or something that
some tool of defense.
And the husband slept near the door.
Yeah. So that just in case the stranger comes in.
So that was their role to
deal with them.
Contemporary, the second one, roles and responsibility. The way to look at it is the contemporary.
Yes.
So when you look at it traditionally, then you will say the woman, so regardless of what happens, the woman is supposed to cook. Regardless of what happens, the husband is supposed to protect the family. So that is the traditional. Contemporarily, the modern way of looking at roles and responsibilities. What has changed?
I think, well, I will allow you to say the roles of a contemporary woman in a marriage, but I think what has changed is during in the yesteryears, the traditional African family setup, the mothers were not going to school. So part of what has really changed is the fact that everybody now is accessing education. There is a lot of exposure for everybody, and I believe that there are equal opportunities in terms of learning, being able to do things. That is why it is really difficult in the contemporary society or families to really ascribe a specific role to a man or a woman. That is from a contemporary perspective, a world contemporary perspective. Because if it is going to war, we have both men and women going to fight Al-Shabaab. We have men and women flying planes, and everybody can do anything, because now the world is really run by technology, and anyone, as long as you have training, can actually be able to do anything with the use of technology. So I think that the roles are not necessarily very differentiated in the contemporary society, and I think that is part of the source of conflict in marriages.
The roles are the same, have remained.
Yes.
That the family needs to be cooked for, children. Yes. Bearing is still there, yes. Protection is there, provision is there, everything is there. But the people have changed. The roles are still there, but they can be done by either.
Yes, the function is still there. People still need to eat, and when you go to the table, the food is food. Maybe the taste might be different, and it is not so much dependent on who cooked. It is more of how whoever cooked it. So whoever cooks, and the one who cooks the best should actually have more opportunities of cooking, so that the family enjoys good meals. The one who cleans can do more of cleaning, so that the family enjoys a clean ambience. So whether it is a man or a woman that is cooking or cleaning, that then in the modern society is not something really to peg on a husband or peg on a woman. It is just the understanding that now we are more of operating on time issues. For example, if my wife has gone to work and she will be coming late, I can't just sit on the couch watching TV waiting that she will come and cook. If I have the ability to actually cook, I can cook, and then she comes and she can be able to do something else. So that is from a contemporary perspective.
So let me ask you, so how do you, because yes, roles and responsibilities have remained the same, but the world has changed. Like now, the people have changed. We both go to work, we both go to school, we can do. I can pay rent. But there's something you can't do. You can't bear children.
So that one now, those are now in a very minimal instances. There are things that only
women
can
there are
do.
roles that only women can do.
Yes.
And men.
But you look at it also in this way. The African traditional family ascribed the role of childbearing and nurturing to women. So the childbearing, the practical giving birth is still a woman function, but the nurturing is not just the preserve of the woman. It is actually now, I feel it's actually a collective responsibility that we have to nurture all these the children together.
It's now what we call parenting. That we do the parenting together. Now, as we parent those children, from a man's perspective, because traditionally it was my responsibility to bear and nurture the children, there are some roles and responsibilities in that parenting duty that you feel or think they should not be done by men?
I think it really depends with the, I think, timing. And as I'm saying timing, I'm thinking about like washing of children. When bathing, cleaning.
Kufua watoto. Unajua washing ni kufua. Kuosha, kusafisha. Bathing of children.
Bathing, yeah. Just the general cleaning of the children. When they are young, any of us can do. But as they grow, that is now brings in the issue of timing. As they grow, there is the element of privacy that then begins to check in. So such that as the boys continue to grow, they need to have a sense of privacy again from their mom. So that mom is not washing boys who are really grown. There is a way it affects their sense of privacy, and it also teaches them how to relate to the opposite sex, because they have to learn that from home. As girls grow, then we have to then think about dad, how much can dad do, especially if a girl gets to a place of she has a sense of privacy. Then I believe that is the time that the role of cleaning her should now remain a mother's responsibility. But when they are younger, we do all this.
And younger is like 2-3 years and below?
I want to think so. I think I would look at it, because children also mature differently. I would want to look at it, you treat a child individually, because one child may grow up and begin even washing, cleaning herself early enough. The other one may delay. So again, so that you don't abandon them, but you support them to learn and become responsible enough. So that is how I would look at it. But many other roles, like if it is cooking, I think anyone can really do that. Again, depending on the gifting, the ability, and just agreeing on a workable environment, so that it's not like it becomes duty, but it is done out of mutual understanding and agreement.
Some husbands have a challenge with things like changing diapers. Have a problem with something like changing diapers as a role because in marriage and in a family, changing diapers, cooking, cleaning the house. But you say, I don't know whether you are saying that because your wife is here. You say that anyone can do it. In as much as anyone can do it, when would you face a challenge in doing it?
I think when I say anyone can do it, traditionally, because we come from somewhere, the husbands that are struggling maybe with changing of diapers, chances are that they are looking at that role from a traditional perspective. And I think it is also okay to respect their perspective, and where possible, if they are unable to see it from a contemporary perspective, it is okay to allow them, and maybe with time they will be able to see it from the current world. But again, especially when it comes to like men, generally speaking, the whole understanding of the society about the roles of men and women, the society has already kind of classified those roles.
Yeah.
So such that if there is no food in the house, in terms of food is there but it's not cooked, the natural way of if people were to ask food, they will not be looking at a husband. Generally speaking, they will be asking the wife. So even the husband coming in and being able to cook is a good thing.
It's not a duty to
but
them.
That is what I wanted to say actually.
Oh.
Don't make it a duty
or an obligation.
Let's not have a situation where like we have visitors in the house, and then Rosie turns to me and says,
enda upike chai tukunywe na wageni.
Enda upikie wageni chai. That from a man's perspective and the egos and all you have from a society perspective, hapo ndio watu wa kwetu wanaanzanga kusema huyu mke amekalia kijana yetu. And that can bring conflict. So it shouldn't be duty. It should be done out of mutual understanding, mutual respect for one another. By the way, she can actually ask me to go and make tea, but it's not just the asking, it is how it is asked.
Have I ever asked you to go and make tea?
Of course you've not.
But you've made.
But I have made tea many times,
Me, I'm struggling because my few years of experience in this marriage with you, it's that what I have observed, you have no problem changing diapers.
Yes.
I mean, you have changed diapers for all the children. You have no problem with cleaning them and cooking and even cleaning the house. But you have a problem with being asked to.
I have no problem with being asked to.
Yeah.
I have a problem with how it is done. Sometimes it is
how
the tone.
And where.
How and where.
Okay.
There are certain contexts. Now, let's begin with where. There is a context that we can be in. For example, we are visiting people that we are not necessarily very close to, and and maybe there is a place that they have placed each of us. In such a context, I think it is just wisdom to do
either it. You do it.
Either I do it voluntarily, but you asking me in a new environment with other people to go and change the baby, or the baby has soiled. So the other question will be, so the baby has soiled. So because if you know the baby has soiled, so you go and change the baby, because that is the natural, the normal expectation. But if you said, please would you help me check whether the baby is okay, no,
but of course not in
a different environment. You want to, because again, we don't just live the two of us. In as much as we are the ones who are married, we are also living in a context of a community, and you don't want also to paint a picture of either your wife or your husband to the community as though that they they are not taking up their specified role as far as society is concerned. In fact, I think it speaks better if I go and change the baby in a new environment out of my own volition and decision. It speaks better to other people than when you actually tell me, hey, Mtoya may change, I'm a soil, so you go and change. They are like, okay, what's going on here? So it's where and how.
It's just the same way that we go to a restaurant.
Yes.
And the bill is brought.
Yes.
And you pick it and give it to me.
Yes.
In as much as in our marriage there is no your money, my money, it's it will look awkward.
Exactly.
Because it is ascribed that the paying of bills is done by a man. So, we are not saying that this is the biblical one. We are just saying contemporary. It will look funny. It
looks awkward. So in such a case, like for paying of bills, what I can do when the bill is brought, what I can do is I can pick her phone and pay with it. She has still paid, but I have just practically done it. And you know, I think it is just wisdom.
Yeah. What? Anyway, so roles and responsibilities in marriage, they differ depending on how a couple is operating. Whether if you are looking at it from a traditional perspective, so that is okay. So that we also don't trash people where you said this is the role of a man, this is the role, it is wrong. No. If you are looking at it as husband and wife from a traditional perspective, that's fine. If you are looking at it from a contemporary perspective, that's fine. But what really matters is the other person needs to really feel honored and respected,
valued.
Because if you tell your husband to go and make tea, even if it's not in public, surely there's a way in which it doesn't communicate well. Of course, because of their ego and so on and so forth. Or a wife and our husband expecting the wife to pay rent. There's a way it doesn't communicate well to them. In our next video, we will be talking about the biblical perspective to roles and responsibilities. For now, thank you so much for being with us here at Rosalwa, where we are about
vulnerability, acceptance, and hope. And by the way, please remember to subscribe if you have not. Hit that notification bell so that when we bring on board the other video or the other clip, the other episode, you will be able to get in touch with us.
So if you are born again and you would want to hear what the Bible really expects, or even if you are not, this is biblical principles that are going to help you. So see you in the next video. Bye-bye.